Hey guys, BJ here. Today we're going over some new customs that I created. We got 3 different ones that we're going to be going over. First one is the goblin. Second one is the white knight. And little Mr. Kier, who just took a dive, is Brassiax, the dragon. So we're going to save the best for last and do Brassiax last. Lay him up against the wall there. He's top heavy, seeing how he's got those big old wings there. So first we're going to go over Goblin, this figure, and the other figures that I am going to be showing you today. They were all created from McFarland, Marvel Legends, and Jazzwares. So the only one with Jazzwares is the Goblin here. The main body is from Jazzwares. I used him for fodder, the head and some other parts attached to him. The head that's currently on there is from McFarland, as well as the feet. The only thing different is the staff, and that's from Xena the Warrior. So I just kind of wanted to show you these to you guys and tell you about the work that I put into them. So everything was originally brown on the main body there, but I went over it with some light brush strokes of that metallic silver. The head, I drilled a hole into the head so it would fit the right peg for the Jazzwares. As you can see, he has a horn coming out of the back of his head, and it was originally a ponytail, but I didn't love the ponytail, so I went ahead and just pulled that out and glued that horn on there because I think, well, it just looks cool. I also put that piece of armor on there, right there, that has the spikes that's flat black. And these legs, the knee pad armor that you can see there, those were glued on, cut off from a different action figure. The McFarland leg for the Goblin didn't fit a Marvel Legends or Jazzwares mold, but I wanted to keep the 2-part articulation for the knee, so I just dremeled the top of this to where it's flat, drilled a hole in the middle, and then stuck the peg from this upper calf from Marvel Legends into the middle of the hole, and used either super glue or glue gun glue to get it to stick in there. So, anyways, it has all the same articulations a Marvel Legends would. That's the standard I try to go by, is the same articulations that a Marvel Legends action figure would have. But yeah, so that's kind of just the idea of Goblin here. I don't really have much of a backstory yet, but I'm sure I will in the future. So Goblin, who, FYI, Goblin is about 6 inches tall. Original Jazzwares one was originally about 4 3/4, 5 inches maybe, and that's why I gave him the extra long legs there, was to give him some better height there. So we'll take him out of the picture, and next do White Knight. This is a figure I did a long time ago. I had an extra hood and cape, and so I was like, let's do something fun with this. So the body is from Whirlwind, Marvel Legends. Sorry about my finger in the camera there. The head is from Magneto, the Marvel Legends black and red Magneto, and I just took the head out of the helmet and used the helmet for something else. But anyways, that hood is a flat white, while everything else is a gloss white. Can't really tell so much in the camera there. But anyways, the sword there I got from Nightcrawler, X-Men Marvel Legends. The cape I got from Moon Knight. The hood for the head I got from Taskmaster, and I already told you the face is Magneto. These armor pieces that you see came from Master Chief. I just dremeled them and glued them on there. And then the legs and arms that you see, I got those from Toy Biz Juggernaut. And so to get those to match up right, for my Dremel tool, I had to Dremel the slot for the Marvel Legends bicep to be a little bigger for it to fit right, but I was able to make it work. Because as you can see, the elbow and the arm there are the Juggernaut pieces. And then moving down here to his legs, he's got those giant feet with that not so huge body. Anyways, these I had to do a similar thing with the joints for the knees. I wanted to keep the 2-part articulation, and so I just, again, dremeled that slot to be bigger in the back of the thigh there. That way I could use the Juggernaut legs with the Whirlwind body. And so I just went with very basic silver and white, which I think works really well. And obviously why I call him White Knight. He's kind of my own little version of what Moon Knight would be if he wasn't all about Egypt or the moon, more of an Arthurian kind of time frame. This shield I got from a garage sale. I saw it at a garage sale. I was like, that would be perfect for one of my creations, so I went ahead and picked it up. So essentially, again, all the articulation of Marvel Legends would have, this has. It pretty much is a Marvel Legends through and through, except for the armor on the arms. And so, again, that is White Knight. Now, moving on to the best for last is the dragon. So there's a lot of cool things that went into this to create this guy. And so I'm going to be going over them with you guys one by one. So first of all, let's start with the head. The head, or the face of the head, was originally too small. So I glued it to a Marvel Legends head. And so the Marvel Legends head that I used was Cottonmouth from the Serpent Society. And so it has the same articulation that any other figure would have that's a Marvel Legends. He can look up and down. He can look side to side. And then another cool thing that he can do, because of the way that I set this up, is his face can turn sideways without the rest of the head moving. And so I thought that was just a neat little thing. The reason I used the Cottonmouth Serpent Head Society is because, as you can see, it has that reptile-like skin, which I think just worked perfectly. And then as you can see on his shoulders, those look kind of like feet because those were the feet of the dragon. I went ahead and just dremeled and sanded the bottom of those feet and then glued them onto his upper shoulders there to give him the look that he has. And then looking at the wings here, as you can see, the wings came with pegs. And so all I did was drill a hole into the back of the figure and then stuck the pegs in them and super glued them in there. I've done other dragon figures where the wings were articulated, but in this one it wasn't so much of an option. And so looking at the wings while we're there, you can tell I just did a blue gloss with black gloss going over it. And then, I don't know how well you can tell in the video, I did a light metallic turquoise on the edges of the wings just to give it more depth. So turning this figure around now. On the back side, I did the blue gloss with the red gloss, and then I just took blue Sharpie and went down the edges there because I wanted something different on the back of the wings than what was on the front of the wings. And going further down here, you can see that I went ahead and put a tail on there. I just drilled a hole into the tail, put a piece of wire in it, drilled a hole into the butt. Yes, I just said drilled a hole into the butt. and super glued it on there. So the tail isn't articulated, but it does have wire in the tail, so it will move around. And then, as you can see, I just put a brass chain on there to kind of give it more of a older look. And so, turning the figure around now, the armor that you see, this came from McFarland Spawn Viking Age figure. It had the neck piece, so I just glued it up on there. I sanded the back of the chest piece first so it would have some gappage so the super glue would work better. And then this on the right bicep is a similar piece of armor. And then this is a piece of bone armor on the left arm that I took from a Diamond Select Lucifer video game figure. It was originally part of the staff, and I just kind of cut it off there and dremeled it so it would work right. And then moving on down, these knee pads that you see that are the metallic blue, those are from the back of the dragon, the McFarland dragon that I got. You might think that these ribbons here are to hold the knee pads on. No, I put the ribbons there because originally on Warpath he had these frilly things on his calves, and so I took the frilly things off and just covered the gap there with the ribbon. And yeah, so Warpath was the figure that I used to create this, and I just worked from there using him as a base. Those are Warpath's wrist gauntlets, and then the sword is from a Mythic Legions action figure. But give me one sec. I'm going to have my son hold the phone so I can show you the cool thing about the head here. So with the head, the cool thing is the reason I can tilt it side to side is because that cottonmouth head, I just I sanded this flat, as you can see, flat face, and then drilled a hole down into the middle there. And then this came with a peg, as you can see, and then that way I could just peg it in there. And as you can see on the bottom of the face here, I dremeled it to match the profile of the dragon head. That way it would line up perfectly and I didn't have to worry about it looking wonky or anything. And so as far as the color goes, as far as the color scheme goes, I went ahead and went with that black and blue, metallic blue throughout most of the body. I did put some gold on there because I thought it was a nice touch. And then with the legs here, you can see that the articulation is all in good working order. The only thing that this figure doesn't have, that it did have, was the calf cut. But that calf cut is no longer there because, as I said, I didn't like the frillies and I wanted to replace it with these knee pads. Or you can call them whatever they want. To me, they look like knee pads. And so, if you're wondering about the wings, I don't know if I already told you, but essentially I just drilled a hole into the back of the neck of the figure and then plugged the wings in there using some super glue. So it was fairly simple, not super complicated. But anyways, this is the Dragon Man figure that I created today. And if you guys are interested in any of the figures that I do, or you'd like me to do a custom for you, or you'd like to see some of the other work that I've done, I do sell these on Mercari at Pirates Toy Chest. So in Google, if you type in Pirates Toy Chest Mercari, then my site will pop up, and the main thing will be a Pirates flag, skull and crossbones that you'll see there. And so, again, I just want to thank you guys for checking out my videos. If you think the figures are cool, do me a favor, like and subscribe. And I welcome any comments that you guys might have. If you have any suggestions or anything like that, I'd love to hear them. If you have ideas for figures that you'd like to see me do, then let me know, and I'd love to get into it. Before we go, I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of a size comparison here. So, oh, being hidden by the wing. And so, this guy right here is about 6 inches tall. And so we're going to have to move back a little further here because those wings are just monsters. So that kind of gives you an idea. The White Knight over here, he's about 7 inches tall. And so the Dragon Man action figure, he's about 7.5, almost 8 inches tall, looking at him. Because when I did do the legs, I went ahead and added some height to him. So, again, thanks guys for checking out this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.